The whole Charlemagne Tyler fallout is an example of why it's so important to take control of your narrative.
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How you are doing? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. So today's video we want to talk about Tyler, the South African artist that did Make Me Sway, Make Me Harder. So last week Tyler trended and got people talking, and this is due to her about our race and who she is. And we've had this conversation here already where we're talking about how Tyler wants to be identified as a colored woman, why people in America are saying that that word color doesn't sit right, you're a black woman, and how some people are saying that Tyler is not a black woman and all that. If you haven't seen that video, maybe I'll link it down in the description box, okay? But now there's a controversy that's gotten everybody talking. So Tyler went to the breakfast show, the Charlemagne the God and all that, and she was asked the question about the race and what she did afterward, where she looked at management, and this one said, oh no, what, she can't answer it and all that. That has gotten the entire internet crazy, especially the African American brothers and sisters have so much to say about this, about why is she avoiding those questions. Is it that, like, what was the reason? Is it that, oh, she doesn't want it to be a brand and all that? And after that, I wish I'm going to play a couple of the clip. I'm just breaking down the entire story, and then we're going to see a couple of the clip. Hopefully I don't get copyright on that, but we're going to see a couple of the clip and then people's response to it. But people are saying that, you know, why is she avoiding the question? Why won't she just answer the question what it is? And this is something I've said a lot of times, and Tyler later came back to clear the air, talking about how in South Africa, the construct of race is different from South Africa to United States. And in South Africa, she will be considered as a colored woman, not black woman. And that's because the concept of race in South Africa is so different compared to the United States. And for me, I'm just like, okay, which I get it, like I get it. We've had this conversation here already. But Charlemagne the God later went on a podcast which he listed some of the things that a management was telling him that he could not ask her during the interview, which has sparked a more controversial topic than a lot of people are giving Tyler the side eye, that probably Akara might just be ending so soon because of this type of controversy, her not trying to clear the hair about the race stand and all that. And I understand that race is really, like, I'm going to share my thought, because even here in Nigeria, like, I will not consider a mixed person a black person. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm going to play the breakfast show, the interview. I've tried. Hope we don't get copyright, because breakfast show usually give copyright. But I'm going to play a short clip of it so you see what the interview and the way our manager just jumped in and the way she looked, and, like, you know what, that just got everybody talking. Anyway, guys, let's go check out the video and then people's response to the entire controversy. Then we'll come back and talk more, and I'll share more of my thoughts. But I also want to know what you think about this conversation of Tyler and this race conversation down in the comment section, and how trying to avoid the question of race at the Breakfast Club. Okay, love to know your own take down in the comment section. Okay, so with that all said, guys, let's go check it out.
She has made comments before about, being colored, which we know in South Africa why they say that. All I was doing was trying to give her an opportunity to clear it up.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too.
Labels always will come and say, can you not ask this? Can you not ask that? For this one, I said no. They had 6 things they didn't want us to ask. You want to know what those 6 things were?
Yeah.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai Cenat, her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore, the color thing, her injury that she sustained, who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. Comparison, and it wasn't even Rihanna, it just said comparisons to other pop artists. When I say no, I'm not going to oblige any of this. It is your job then, label, management, whoever, to either prepare the artist for the questions or pull the interview.
Exactly. School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. Shut up, man. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like the carrot. That's good. That's even better. All right, Tyler.
Wasn't that bad, was it? No.
Take on
No.
the spot down.
Good.
I'm good. Why you guys?
Oh, we got some more
Because
for
the
next time.
label-
I'm not messing with you.
I want you to know this for other interviews, right?
Oh, boy.
When they go in and they tell like the interviewers what to say and what not to say, this and that. That's what makes it awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. Are you awkward?
No.
I'm not awkward.
You want to see all the
Like, we
questions they told us not to ask?
expect-
Yo, leave her alone, man. Stop
This
it.
one must leave the room.
Stop it. My goodness.
This one must go.
I know, it's the worst ever working with him. I work with him every day.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler's album is
Much
out
success
right now.
to you, Tyler.
Yes,
Thank
girl.
you.
Tyler choosing to surround herself with Black American music, Black American culture, Black American artists, Black American publications, but refusing to talk about her racial identity is an interesting choice. It feels very disingenuous, but an interesting choice nonetheless.
Baby, Charlamagne just outed Tyler like nobody's business. So Tyler did an interview with Charlamagne the God in the Breakfast Club, and there were a lot of questions she refused to answer. The one about Kai Sin, the one about using the word color, and a couple of more questions. Now the funny thing is, we all thought Charlamagne was being an ass. I thought he was being an ass. But that wasn't the guy. Okay, Charlamagne went on a podcast and told everybody, baby, they knew I was going to ask these questions. They sent me the questions way before she got there. And I told them, hell no. I'm asking these questions. These are the questions people want to know. These are the questions people want answers to. So she can either show up and answer the questions or don't show up at all. Now, her team could have pulled her off that interview because they already knew Charlamagne was going to ask questions, but they didn't, and I don't know why. So when Tyler got to the damn interview and Charlamagne did what Charlamagne does, asked every question that he deemed the people wanted to know, and her team in the back talking about, can we move on to the next question? Tyler looking at them like this. Charlamagne looking like you knew I was going to ask this goddamn question. And everybody sitting there like, okay, this some shit. What's the point of the interview? Why did you show up? I'm sorry, Tyler is not Beyonce. She ain't Janet Jackson. She damn sure not Denzel Washington. Your career is fresh, baby. And as soon as it starts, it can damn well end. When people find out you are a hard person to work with, or you're a hard person to even talk to, or you can't get real, they ain't going to with you no more. Especially in America, because America like tea. Your people going to end up ruining your career, keep playing around. Because it's not just people like Charlamagne. There are other places that you're going to go and you're going to have to do interviews, and since you ain't answered questions up front, they're going to continue to ask them. And what's going to end up happening is Tyler's going to build a bad reputation and nobody's going to want to have any part of it. That makes it hard to shit, ma'am, if you ain't got nowhere to go to promote it. I'm just saying.
This question right here is such a difficult question to answer as a South African in American context. Like, this goes to show you that Americans, us, we have no concept of other people's cultures or other people's identity. She is South African. She is vastly culturally different than us. You know when apartheid ended in South Africa? In 1990. That is the legalization of segregation. And out there, they identify as white, colored, and black. And I think that this is a very irresponsible question to ask someone who's just trying to do their job, who is young, who is just like, man, I'm just here just trying to promote an album. Because it is a complex question to answer, because culturally, Americans and South Africans are so vastly different. This is a messy question. Wow.
The whole Charlamagne Tyler fallout is an example of why it's so important to take control of your narrative. You can't let your agents, your PR people, your managers completely control your narrative, because they will mess you up. Tyler's a talented babe, and I feel like she's smart as well. But when you have people in your ear who are supposed to be more experienced in the field you're stepping into, you trust them, you take their advice. But the whole, we won't answer questions on this, and 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 then the show host being like, well, we're going to ask you anyway. Rejected. And then you still go on the show. Poor, poverty-infused advice. You have to back yourself. You need to know who you are, and you need to know what you're comfortable talking about and not talking about, and push back if your team are chatting in a language that is not making sense. Because I get there are questions that you just don't want to answer, but there's a way to do it. And you can't go on a talk show, radio show, podcast, anything, and think that you're going to completely control how it goes. You need to back yourself and answer questions that might be a little tricky in a way that's going to give the people something, but also maintain your integrity. And also, I swear some of the questions weren't that deep. Like, I don't know what the thought process was for the team meeting, because don't ruin my girl's career. Yeah, we'll see, but oof. Take control of your narrative, back yourself, don't let other people pull strings when it comes to your life.
South African singer TYLA is still being asked to explain her identity. Recently, she appeared on The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God asked her to clarify what she means when she says she identifies as a South African colored woman. But her team shut that down.
School me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. I like when they...
After that clip went viral, TYLA posted this statement. She says, "I don't expect to be identified as colored outside of South Africa by anyone not comfortable doing so, because I understand the weight of that word outside of South Africa. But to close this conversation, I'm both colored in South Africa and a black woman." So, will Americans finally accept that TYLA is a colored woman from South Africa? And for her, that does not equate to denying her blackness.
Let me show y'all a clip of Charlamagne talking about TYLA and her interview on The Breakfast Club real quick.
I said to them, no. Oh. Now, when I say no, I'm not going to oblige any of this. It is your job then, label, management, whoever, to either prepare the artist for the questions or pull the interview.
Exactly.
So when TYLA went on The Breakfast Club, my first question was, why even go? Why go? Yes, The Breakfast Club is a large platform. They have a lot of listeners and viewers, right? They definitely do. However, there are large platforms dedicated to talking about music and artists, right? And they've been doing so for years. And The Breakfast Club is not one of them. The Breakfast Club is not for the culture. It's a place you go to talk about the culture. You understand what I'm saying? It's literally mindless entertainment. It's no different from the Wendy Williams show. It's literally no different, just more than one host. All of them put together equal like half of a Wendy. And they're trying their best. Anyway, I was wondering why she even went. Because, like, of course Charlamagne was being rude. That's what he does. People were saying, oh, maybe he was ignoring what the label told him not to ask. And he's just being an asshole and blah, blah, blah. And maybe that's the case. But once again, that's what he does. Mm-hmm. Why go? Charlamagne himself said, the label said, hey, don't ask about this, and that, right? Charlamagne said, no, I'm going to ask anyway. Then they sent her there anyway without any preparation. So once again, I ask, why did she even go? Where's the research? Is she being set up? Because it feels like it. Anyway, her manager is a black man that manages Aquafina, the Asian girl that pretends to have a hood black scent. Or at least she used to. I don't know if she still does. I don't know. That girl. To me, that just adds a little layer of context. I don't know if that means a lot, but it does add some context, I think.
TYLA is a colored woman in the South African context. In the American context, we would consider her black. It's really not that hard. If you understand the context and you understand that different countries have different racial categorizations. Within the context of South Africa, she's a colored woman. She is not black. But when she comes to America and she's in a different context, and there's a different racial categorization, we would consider her black. I can attest to something fairly similar. When I was studying abroad at the University of Johannesburg, by the way, I'm wearing my South African shirt. Shout out to South Africa. And I went to go sign up for some student organizations. They would have racial categories. And the racial categories they had was African, colored, white, Asian, other. There was no just black identification. So for a minute, it took me aback because I'm used to just marking black, African American, that's it. But now I'm in a different context. I have to rethink this. I have to think, okay, within the African context, I'm a black man, I'm African American, I'm of African descent, I'm an African man. And so I marked African. This whole Tyler situation shouldn't be blowing up, starting diaspora wars in this tit for tat battle if people just simply understood within different contexts, different cultures, you're going to have different racial categorizations. In South Africa, she's a colored woman. In America, we would consider her black. In Brazil, she might be part of. Understand that different contexts have different categorizations.
So up until this point, I have felt that Tyla's team has been doing great things for her. That girl is everywhere, doing everything in the spaces and places that she needs to be as she cultivates this career that she is growing and blossoming, right? I don't understand why they would go on the Breakfast Club and not be prepared to answer that question about basically the racial hierarchy in South Africa and her comments about being colored and versus black and what that means with her being a South African and being in a black American space, right? I don't know why her team would allow her to go on the Breakfast Club, not be prepared to answer that question. And then when they ask the question, she just sits back and turns and looks at them. That wasn't a good look for her. She's a grown lady. She should be able to answer that question. And I'm sure they didn't want to talk about it. I'm not even mad at her for not wanting to talk about it. But the Breakfast Club is not a platform that you can go on and dictate what you want to talk about. They didn't do it 10 plus years ago when they started. They damn for sure ain't doing it now. So they should have been prepared for that. And then what's crazy to me is like she released the statement. I didn't get that either. I would have rather her not say anything. Not that I really care that much, but I'm just saying as far as the optics and how it looks, it probably would have been best if she didn't say anything and waited until her next interview and then she talk about it. Because now it's like, well, why didn't you just say that in the interview? Exactly. Did you write this? Did they write it for you? Because what's going on? You know? At the end of the day, regardless how you feel on both ends of the spectrum, when you are perceived as black or partially black or being marketed as a black artist and you are going to be doing a urban quote unquote genre of music, you're going to be marketed to the black community first. And if the black community doesn't rock with you, you're not going to propel and cross over to be a pop star. That's just how it works. I think that there has been damage done to her career because of this. It's going to be an uphill battle for her. I think the girl is talented. But I'm not going to hold you like this doesn't look good. People were already feeling the type of way about it and it doesn't look good. So we will see what happens with Miss Tyla. You know, the girl is talented. You know, I want all the best for her and the things, but it doesn't look good because I don't think there's anything wrong with discussing racial hierarchy in other countries. There's going to be people who are ignorant to the fact that, yes, there are things outside of America. However, when you are in America and you are in Black America, because she's on the Breakfast Club, which is a black media platform, you need to discuss that. She should have been ready to talk about it. The fact that she wasn't, and the fact that she released that statement, the fact that there are, I hate to say it, but a lot of Black South Africans online being racist, being against Black Americans, it doesn't look good for her. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section. But please, as always, keep it respectful. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thoughts. So we've had this conversation of Tyla, race, and all that. And I feel like she was set up for this failure because the statement she put, she has said it 1,000 times. In South Africa, she's considered as a colored woman. And in America, she's considered as a black woman. And somewhere in Nigeria, she will be considered as a mixed woman, as a biracial woman. So like here in Nigeria, if you're biracial, we can't classify you as a black person. We classify you as biracial. You're a mix, you're an half caste. That's what we say. So I feel like you could have just used this opportunity as a form of education to the African American people that don't know the racial hierarchy in South Africa. I feel like she could have used this opportunity to really like just go into it and educate people that don't know, people that have not left the US, people that still have like the US or just black, white and all that. She could have used this opportunity to educate them. But another thing with her team is that why didn't her team just pull out of the interview if they know she was not going to answer that question, and they know how the Breakfast Club works, they know how Charlamagne works. He's going to ask those questions and he's going to kiki kaka and make you look terrible. Do I feel like this is the end of TYLA'S career? No. But do I think it's a good look for her? No. The way she even swing her neck like, management, take care of this. I feel like they know for sure this will be a repeated questions being asked at her. I feel like as a new star, she's like the other lady said, she's not Beyonce that can walk into a room and say, don't ask this, don't ask. She's a new star that's trying to break into a foreign market and a foreign group of people. I feel like you really need to be in that place where you're able to ask some of the eyebrow questions those people, that country have. I feel like she should be comfortable having it. And also, I feel like sometimes when you have a whole lot of team behind you, it can really get really messy really quick, and a whole lot of da-da-da-da-da-da. Even before TYLA blew up, she has addressed this multiple times. A lot of South Africans are come online to educate people on this, and I feel like she could have just done that simple. But also, I also feel like there is this idea, which I always talk about here, how people see as being different, has been a bad thing, has been like we don't agree on something has been a bad thing. Some African Americans just really believe in the black and white race and all that. Like, is it here, you are here, you can't play in the middle, and why will you use the word colored? And colored in the African American sense is an offensive term, but in the South African sense is a race term. And I feel like people just need to understand and respect people where they are coming from, especially where they are not from the same place as you are. I just feel like people should learn how to respect that and try to see where the other person is coming from, because I get it from the African American sense. The word colored may come off really offensive and make you feel like you're better than them, better than black people. That's why you want to identify as color. But why can't we just take our time, like I'm talking about the African American people, to just hear her out? I know that a lot of African people really don't get the concept of race. Like I'm telling you, me is until I start really diving into the African American culture and all that and the society that I start knowing that the black is a very, like, race is a very STEM thing when it comes to African American people and even other people outside African. Yeah, in Nigeria, most of the time I forget that I am black, because I don't have to tick it anywhere that I am black. There's nothing like identify your race here in my country. So someone like me coming to a place and is like, okay, I don't even know where to put myself. And also, I can also understand a, we call them half caste, a mixed, a biracial person in Nigeria that never gets to mark a race. And like race is never in our form or anything here in Nigeria. Imagine that type of person going to the US and they're telling them black, Hispanic. The person will be confused because the person has never been called black, but what the person is being known generally by our society is being an half caste. So yeah, I don't think this is the end of TYLA'S career though, but I feel like she should be one to answer this type of question and just clear it. There's no big deal on this question. In fact, all the questions they told Charlamagne not to ask her, they were no big deal. Is this person your boyfriend? Answer. If you don't want them to know he's your boyfriend and he's your boyfriend, just say, no, we're just friends, out. Compared to other artists, yeah, I admire them, they are star, out. There was this interview of Arasta. They were trying to pitch Arasta against Cardi B, and you see, she didn't avoid the question. She answered the question, and that was it. That was the TMZ video. I'll look for the video and put it. But yeah, that is how you answer this type of question. If you genuinely admire that artist, just answer it. And I know they want to compare her to Rihanna, but there's no comparison there. Rihanna is Rihanna, TYLA is TYLA. So I don't see the essence of them not answering those questions. It doesn't make sense if they're not trying to sabotage her, really. Anyway, guys, please go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Love to know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section. But please keep it respectful. As always, you're on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free, and share your thought. Okay? Don't forget to share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. With that said, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.